I fixed it. That's right. We can fix stuff once in a while. So, welcome to Making It Up as we go. It's your host Ryan. Hello, hello, hello. I am obviously back from on being on location, back in the home compound, and got a bunch of nice folks here with us tonight. We have, as always, Mr. Sean. How you doing, sir?
Evening.
Good deal.
Hello, everyone.
And Mr. Paul. Mr.
Good
Paul,
evening.
Messy workshop as always. Not
It's
messy.
messy.
We also have Mr. Schuster.
Howdy, howdy.
How we doing, sir?
I am great. I'm a little bit warm.
Yeah, it's warm everywhere, it seems like. And our special guest for the evening, Mr. Cody Elkins. Hey!
I'm not worthy.
Oh my gosh.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Oh, good. Very good. We're all back and off and running. So, let's get into it today. Let's start off like we do every week. What's going on with the panel this week? Sean, what's been happening with you? Anything?
Not too much. Learning train stuff, having fun with it, making a
What do you
mess in
mean?
my basement.
What do you mean by learning?
I'm doing. Actually, when you build up one of these really cool modules and you put the track on it, you get to put your landscaping and buildings, and that's where I'm at right now on a couple of them. And yes,
cool.
I did it years ago, but it's like new. It's old school new.
Yeah.
Well, it's been fun.
Yeah, I saw you were sanding.
That's what I've been mostly up to this week.
Nice. Mr. Paul, what do you got going on?
I'm trying to clean my workshop.
Yeah, then it's going to be Paul's unmessy workshop.
Yeah, it's an ongoing thing. I am naturally a messy person.
Yeah, I am too. Thankfully, the camera does not show all of my desk.
Somewhere inside me is a frustrated neat person.
Yeah, I hear you on that. Mr. Schuster, what do you got going on this week, buddy?
All sorts of stuff. A week ago today, Cody's not the only person here who's made his own end mill. A week ago today, I made my own end mill for the first time, and it was really easy. All I did is put the end mill in Cody's machine, and then press cycle start, and it was that easy. Just like everyone says, to do a CNC stuff, all you do is just press a button and it's magic. Well,
Just hit go.
it really was.
Cody, do you have anything new going on this week?
Man, I feel like I always have something new. Like
You've got a lot going on.
So actually, kind of a funny story. A buddy of mine. So for the longest time, like I always helped him make his flags. So I would make his unions for him, and then he would bring me like the stripes, and then I'd go and I would put somebody's name on there or their rank or whatever. And he has to deliver it by the 9th, so tomorrow, right? And earlier this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I had to get my shop painted. So that project kept getting pushed like back farther and farther and farther. And then all of a sudden it's like, I have to finish this union. It was like a huge V-carve project. And so I like get it all programmed. I'm super excited about it because it turned out like really good. And man, I misspelled the word captain on the stupid stripe.
Oh no!
So I mixed the A and the I by accident, because when you type it up and then you make your vector file, there's no spell check with vector files, right?
Yeah,
it's just like a shape. And I was like just so gung ho on like the spacing and the font and the way it was like sitting on the stripe, and I have a special fixture. I had to get everything like indicated in. I didn't even realize it. And so the funny thing is like I got him the union and I gave him the stripe, and it was like, I don't know, probably 4:00 yesterday. And then a couple hours later, he texts me. He's like, dude, these are awesome, but we spelled it wrong. And the bad thing is I took pictures of the artwork before I carved it. So, and he was all, he even said, "Oh yeah, it looks good." And so I'm like,
Yeah.
"All right, it looks good." And so I ran it. Well, he took a picture and sent it to his customer. And I'm like, "Oh my God." I feel like such an idiot.
Oh,
So, you know, he told his customers like, "Oh, no big deal." So he called me up, and then I was here to the shop till like 12:30 last night, like remaking it.
Oh.
But I got it done, and he got the stripe, and he got the union, and it looks really, really good. I shared a little video on it yesterday.
sweet.
But yeah, but
I'm so glad. No, I'm not the only one that does stuff like that.
oh
I
my
had the
God.
exact same thing happen a couple years ago, and the customer even approved the artwork with the misspelling.
Yes.
So at least that helped a little
That's-
bit.
Oh my gosh. So
When you
yeah,
flip
that's
it, sometimes it's just you don't even think like it doesn't register in your brain that something's bad. It's like one of those the post on Facebook or whatever that has everything misspelled or phonetically or whatever it is, and
Right.
you're like, if you can read this and it's got 3 Z's and 5 I's in the middle of a word. And,
so so the best part though is after I made the extra stripe, you know, I carved it all out, and then I took it and I held it upside down, and I took a picture of it. And I was like, "Dude, I carved it upside down," and he's I had to mess with him, right? But no, the second one came out good. So yeah, it's just fun stuff like that, and then of course family and 4th of July and all that stuff that's going on this week.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's been a crazy week this week.
yeah.
I've
Still
been
got all 10.
well, I was on location up until yesterday, and so I actually took my printer with me down to the beach and had it sitting on the counter printing out parts for the little remote control car. So I got it back here last night, and of course, you know, started a brand new one, and so I did the first one of the body colored panels now. I don't know if it'll show up. Let me see here. Let me go solo here. I can show you guys the see if this color will translate good enough here. Let's see, did it go? There it goes. So this is the front hood of the dune buggy, and it's not perfect. Like there's some under extrusion through here, but you can kind of see it's got a like a bluish sheen and then purples, and the color really doesn't even do it justice on here. When you see it up close, it's really cool. I dig it a lot.
That is
The,
really- you can see the blues.
Yeah, it kind
Yeah.
of has a metallic sheen to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the color is called burnt titanium, and so if you've ever seen titanium like on an exhaust or whatever like that, it gets those blues and yellows and greens and stuff like that into it when it gets hot, and so it's a pretty accurate representation. There's the inside.
Yeah.
There it is.
This is something else. Every part that I print out from this model, it makes me like so giddy with the engineering behind all of it, because this printed out like this, so it had the support built into it, so you don't print it with extra supports, even though you've got this big cavern up here, so you have that, and then when it's done, you know, you pull this out. But see, you can see, look right up in here, you can see they even modeled in like different steps to get the you know, the filament to bridge and stuff like that to make it so that you didn't need to use supports on it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So if
So it's well designed.
yeah, and there it is with the tub. And
The
then
tub
the
almost
front
looks
end.
aluminum.
Yeah, well, it's just a gray PLA, and it looks better on video than it does in real life, to be honest. But
Don't tell
it'll be
everyone.
all right. Yeah, but it's pretty good size. It's a 1/10 scale, so it's you know, the back of the body will come out here or something like that, and it'll have side pods on it and all that good stuff. But yeah, it's coming along pretty good. Pretty fun. Let's see here. Let me get back to everybody here so we can. There we go. There we go. But yeah, it's
So
been a fun project so far.
So there was at one point, and it was a while back, like back in the day when you wanted like two different colors, you had to have two different extruders, right?
Mhm.
Well, I think that there was a filament that was water soluble,
Yeah.
and what you could do is you could use that for your support material, and if you had the two extruders, you can do your normal print, and then you can use the water soluble material, and then as you were printing all the support stuff, you just soak it in water, and it would keep you
Just
from
melt
having to
away.
do all the weeding and like breaking all that stuff out because it's a pain sometimes pulling
Oh
all
yeah.
the support material
Yeah.
off.
The way that these guys have designed everything on it though is pretty impressive. I really like how it's, I mean, it's all built in. Here's the dashboard. You guys see the dashboard, and that centerpiece is the speedometer. So I mean, it's just the detail in it's pretty stupid.
Does
lot
it
of
come
fun,
with
though.
cup holders?
No, but if you know what a VW engine looks like, when the engine goes in, it's really looks like a VW engine back there. It's even got the fuel pump, like the same
fun.
style, like fuel pump on it. It's really pretty fun. So might make another one just for giggles, just to have sitting on a shelf or something. It doesn't even need to move. So, but yeah, so that's what's been going on with me this past week. We got to put our good old ticker up here. Just as a reminder, it is 137 days until the start of the Latin CNC Christmas Challenge. And Maker's Rock is only 293 days away now. So get your album cover ready. It's all out there, so we'll let that roll.
This isn't a lost cause.
It's all good. Let's see here. I haven't been checking in with the chat or anything. Do we have anything? Anybody's got any questions or anything that they?
Well, we got one.
Let's see here. God.
Should be starred.
There you go. Dan Grokus. Has anybody cut G11? No.
So I have not cut G11, but I've cut G10 before. And G10 material, it was really abrasive, and it really made your end mills go dull like quick. It's been a long time, but I remember, like, I don't know if it has more sand in it or something as part of that G10 material. But
What is it?
it was tough. It's almost like I believe it's almost like a composite made like material.
Oh, okay.
It almost reminds me of like canvas. Like it's like canvas and it's like glued together and sand and silica or whatever. And it's like you have all these different layers in it.
Oh, interesting.
So it's nice. I've used it a lot in manufacturing. It's like an inert material. And so anytime I had to send parts to like anodize or chem film, or if I had to like make a masking fixture that's going into like a copper plating tank, that material wouldn't break down as it went through all the different chemicals. So we use G10 for a lot of that type of applications. But I've never done the G11. I'm not even quite sure I know exactly what G11 is, but just I imagine it's in the same family of materials.
Interesting. Well, it's obvious I've never cut it because I didn't know what it was.
I thought it was a G code number.
I was waiting for it. I was like, all right, nah. No.
So it's like fiberglass like mesh, almost like a phenolic. Yeah.
No, that's why we got Cody here.
No.
Resin fiberglass mat. Very cool. Very cool. Well, I apologize, Dan. Can't help you. I can't help you. Cody can, though.
Well,
Look at that. We got Mr. JR out there in the chat.
Yeah, there's JR.
Oh,
good
and
evening.
here, look at this
Anna.
guy. Look. So this is another world that I'm in, which is the golf cart world. This is Ryan Fenners. I'd like to congratulate him because he just hit the 100,000 subscriber mark. So that's pretty awesome. Man.
Congrats.
Oh,
Very awesome. Yeah, he celebrated by giving away a golf cart. It was really sweet golf cart. So, it's good to see you, Ryan. I appreciate you dropping in, buddy. Let's see here. Ah,
there you go.
oh, here you go. Oh,
Pop that.
Lara's got a question here. Anybody here weld, MIG, or TIG and have a favorite YouTube channel? I have a favorite YouTube channel for that, and that is Rainfall Projects. He is an incredible, he's a guy, I forget his name is right offhand, but he lives on a farm, and so he makes all kinds of really cool stuff. Rainfall Projects, that's who I would check out as far as that is concerned. You've never seen me weld, and it's pretty ugly.
That's what the grinders are for. You can clean them up, make them look pretty.
It's a bad welder's best friend. So I do have to do some welding on the golf cart that I have, and it's going to be ugly. I haven't picked up that welder in 15 years, so it's definitely going to be ugly.
I think mine's buried back here somewhere.
Yeah. Nice.
It is.
Very nice. Mr. Cody. So can we get a wonderful shop tour from you?
Yeah,
Please.
absolutely. So I'm actually kind of excited. This is the first time I've ever done anything in my shop. So this is my shop debut to you guys in the world. So
awesome.
Pretty excited. So I've been in here 3 months now. It's my first ever real shop outside of my garage. So I was pretty stoked about that. It's only 1,000 square foot shop, and I actually have a shop mate, my buddy Scott. It's actually really funny. So I worked with him years ago when I worked at Klings Aerospace, and for years we just had been friends after the fact. And he was always telling me, he's like, hey, because he knew I was into CNC woodworking and laser engraving, and I did a lot of welding, stuff like that, JR. But he's like, if you ever need room and you outgrow your shop, let me know. And I was like, oh, I'll never outgrow my shop. I'll just always sell a machine, just get a different one. And, because I had my little command center. It was nice. And then this happened right there. I was like, I need space. And he was kind enough to let me in after 3 years of him giving the invite. So yeah, if you want, I can give you a quick shop tour.
The invite was all you needed. Stuff, when sometimes you don't know that you need the connection on that until you get it, and that's it was there for a reason. Oh,
So,
all right.
I got you on my cell phone.
Sweet. Let me. We'll throw you up here so we can get. Come on. Should do it here. There we go. Nice.
Okay. Can you guys hear me all right?
Yep.
Okay, so this is the entrance area. I just got all of this stuff painted. It was a gnarly beige brown ugly color. Eventually I'd want to just make this as kind of an entry area, so in a place where my kids, when they come, they can sit down and color or do whatever. And then in here's where the actual shop starts. I had to take out my earbud, so if you have questions, I'm gonna have to wait till after. But anyways, this is the whole shop. We just got all of this painted on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It was 3 days of just rolling and masking, getting everything cut in. I got my Shapeoko there, my Onefinity Elite, which is freaking awesome. This is where I do a lot of I package all my orders and I sign all my pack slips, just kind of at that little workstation. I got my Thunder laser, my little workstation, my toolbox. And there I do a lot of the programming for the Anka. And then here's the Anka. This is where I'm making all the Jenny bits from. So you got the robotic arm, you got the grinding wheels, the wheel packs, the headstock, and then this is the controller. This is where you run everything from. So the cool thing about this machine is it runs off of linear motors, so they're electromagnetic, and because they're electromagnetic, it produces a lot of heat. So when this machine is on, it's actually circulating oil the entire time it's on. And the oil goes through this little Transor. It's just like a little basin that catches all the oil, and it goes through like a coarse filter, a fine filter, and then it goes through a chiller. And then the chiller actually measures and monitors the temperature of the coolant just to help prevent any of the thermal expansion and contraction of your material when you're grinding. So it's a really cool system. And then back over here is where my buddy Scott, this is kind of just his area where he comes and tinkers and builds his 3D printers. Yeah. And then, so that's about it. That's the whole shop. So
That is so cool.
Scott's so getting evicted when the second machine comes in. That's awesome.
okay.
There we go. Very
So
I didn't notice your couch where you can take a nap.
So that front room is my plan is to put a little couch in there, like a little love seat, and then I want to put like a little coffee table, because a lot of times it gets kind of loud in here with the air compressor going and the machine running. If I need to take a phone call or take my laptop somewhere quiet, I want to just go in that room and sit down and be able to kind of chill and relax a little bit. So there will be a couch in there, a little coffee table, and I want to put in a coffee bar and kind of make it my break room and area for my kids to hang out.
Man, that's
I'll
great.
probably mount a TV in there too.
Might as well. Man, it looks great in there, bud.
So that's kind of the whole shebang.
So
Now I'm here every day.
Al has a question for Paul. Is Paul's shop that clean?
I just told him my shop will never be that clean or that organized.
Well, so my wife will argue. She says that I'm pretty dang messy too, and I know at times I can be, especially when I'm really busy. It's like it's organized chaos, like on my desk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'll have tools everywhere, but now that I'm in the shop and I'm kind of sharing it with somebody else, I try to keep it clean and tidy. And I want to be a good shopmate. I don't want to get evicted. So
That's awesome, man. It looks really good. The one thing I was noticing about the Inca is that screen looks. How similar is the controls on that compared to the Infinity or the Onefinity Elite? Like, because like the screen and the button layout there. I mean, it looks like that's where they got the inspiration from. That style.
It's totally different. It's
Is it?
completely different. So this is an industrial machine, right?
Right.
And what I really like about the Masso controllers is it gives you a lot of the industrial tools that you have like on this machine here. I love the fact on the Masso controller, you can set several different work offsets. You can do J54, 55, 56 to whatever. You can do cutter comps on the Masso controller, and a lot of those types of features is really common in big industrial machines too. So like on that machine behind me, I can open up my wheel packs and I can do different, wheel offsets and wheel adjustments and, save all that stuff as you're dialing things in. So even though, I mean, they're different, but they're similar from the perspective of the Masso controller feels more like an industrial controller.
Gotcha.
I mean, you can even put a pennant on it, just like you can see the pennant behind me on this machine just kind of hanging there. And that's nice because you can sit there and you can drive it around and you can choose all your different axes, A, B's, well, X, Y, Z. I have A and C and a bunch of different axes on that one. But the point is you can have the same type of stuff with the Masso controller. I'm really impressed with it. I love it. So
That's awesome.
it's great.
Very awesome. So we had a little bit of a hint on a visitor that you had, and Rob, you got to go actually see the shop, huh?
Yes.
Did you see it pre-paint or post-paint?
Say again?
Did you see it pre-painted or post-painted?
Pre-painted. It has changed a lot since I was there. It's a little bit cleaner and brighter now.
Oh my
so-
gosh.
So everything you're about to say is it's already past date. It's no longer.
Yep. I was very tempted for the show tonight to show up at Cody's, and I was in the background sweeping the floor.
That would have been awesome. That would have been so funny.
That's what happens when you show up at Dave's place. You put to work always. You have to get a room for Dave's.
Straight before.
Well, that's why
to be
nobody
fair-
goes there.
To be fair, Rob, I put you to work, man. You were running the machine, so
You were scared watching me press even the cycle start button.
Yeah, I sure would be.
so
Can I hit the button? No. that's
So
like
to let you
having
guys know, it's kind of turning into a thing. Anybody who's like come to visit me here, I want them to run their own tool and take it with them as like a souvenir. So if any of you guys ever want to come down and visit me, I'll let you load the machine, run your own tool, and you can take it home and use it or keep it as a backup or whatever. But kind of get to see the
looking
whole
up
process.
Orbit's flights right now. Be the most expensive bit I've ever bought.
Well, you get to take it with you for free. That's the cool part.
Yeah, there you go.
It's the flight.
Yeah. Yeah. So Rob, what did you think when you were down there?
It was so impressive. I mean, that machine, the technology of that machine is just crazy. I think we have advanced machines, our little hobby CNCs we're pretty proud of. And then you see that thing and wow. It was down to, he mentioned 1,000th, but he was talking 1,000th of 1,000th of an inch. The measurements are just so minute and how accurate it is. And I'm working with wood. If I'm with 100th of an inch, the wood's going to swell and contract. I'm good enough. And he's literally 1,000 times more accurate than I am doing my stuff. It's just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
So I think the industry standard for tools, for cutting tools, it's usually like plus nothing minus 0.002 of an inch. For manufacturing purposes, I cut that in half. So, or even less than that. I try to maintain a plus nothing minus 0.2 on all my dimensions. That way, if my wheels move a little bit or throughout the manufacturing process, the wheels start breaking down or whatever, I'm still well within tolerances, so it'll still make a good tool.
You say 0.2. I think 0.2 of an inch, and you're talking 0.2 of 1,000th or a 10,000th.
Yeah. Okay. So
fractions of a human hair. It's
so I think the human hair, like on average, is about 0.003 thick, right? So 0.00. Well, so just to give you an idea, of kind of what that looks like in the machine tolerance wise, is if you take that human hair and cut it into 3 even parts, well, now you're in 1 thou increments, right? So now take one of that 1 thou increments and cut that into 10 even increments, and now you're in tenths of an inch. So the tolerances I'm trying to hold are plus nothing minus 0.2.
Wow. That's insanity.
That's what I try to.
That's real
I try
tight.
to maintain and hold. Obviously, you can go out to like 2,000s, and for wood tools, it's not a big deal at all. But I like to just kind of hone it in and try to keep it all the same, especially if I'm doing big production runs and the robot's running. I set the SPC charts to where every time it runs a tool, the laser will go in there, it'll measure it, and then it'll start doing wheel adjustments. And when you're looking at the chart, you'll actually see all of the points funnel down to the nominal line, and you can actually visually see how your process is doing throughout the manufacturing,
That's
throughout the run. So
Jeez.
that's pretty fun.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And I'm still learning. Oh my gosh, I'm still drinking from a fire hose. It's a lot, but I love it. I'm so thankful I've had this opportunity to do this and to serve the community in this capacity now. So
Yeah. So how has it been being like full time into it now? Is it what you thought it would be? Are you spending more time than what you thought, or less time, or what's
So it's
life
completely-
like for Cody?
it's completely different, like
Yes.
where I used to work, it was awesome. It was aerospace and defense. I love the type of work we're doing. We're doing some really, really complex, machined parts that were going to like weapon systems that support our military. And so like I loved everything about it. It was really, really cool. But quitting that and doing this full time, it's just completely different. I don't feel the same type of stress and burden working full time that I feel here. I mean, there's different stresses and different burdens because now it's like, okay, I have a really expensive machine. I need to I gotta sell. I gotta sell tools. I gotta do a good job. I gotta, get out and work with the community and just keep doing what I've been doing. And some days like sales are really good, and then other days like sales are just kind of like low, and it's like, so it can be a little stressful, but at the same time, like we've never been without. Like God has always provided for our family, so there's like that comfort for my wife and I as we kind of embark on this journey. But it's awesome. Yeah, I feel like I work more hours, but don't feel like I'm working more hours, if that makes any sense at all. Like it's just different when you're working on your own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, well, and realistically, you're probably working a little bit less because before you would work the 9 to 5, and then you would work on your own stuff, and now it's all together. So, I mean, you're probably pretty close.
Yeah. My wife would probably argue against that because I come here and I work all day, and then I bring my laptop home, and then I'm catching up on all the social media stuff, and so I need to do a better job at kind of managing that side of it. When I'm home, I really kind of need to focus on being there with the wife and the kids and being helpful, and it's all the same stuff that I've always dealt with. It's just different now. So
Yeah.
and I love
to get there. I mean, being you're a one man shop like that. It does take that for a good while. Bringing work home, and then you'll find at one point you'll start settling in with it, and it won't come home as much. Like I know, but for me, I mean, it's taken, I don't know. Well, it probably took 6 or 7 years before I would go, okay, I'm not gonna go to work over the weekend, and go be on somebody's roof or whatever. I'm staying, doing house stuff, being around the family all weekend long. And so it does take some time to catch your business up to that point where you can and not feel guilty about doing it.
Well, the nice thing is my wife is super supportive, and it's nice being able to have the flexibility because, I know I've shared with you guys before that we homeschool and we have 4 kids, right? And so now that I'm working for myself and I can make my own schedule, if I need to take a Monday off because we're going to Tucson to tour the air base where they're training pilots, like I have that freedom to go do so. Like we just did that like 2 weeks ago. We had an opportunity to go to the air base, and I got to bring my whole family, and we got to see the hangar and all that stuff. And if I was working full time the way that I was, I wouldn't have that many of opportunities, because there's it's nice because I can make up my own time whenever, so yeah, I love it. We're blessed. It's great and scary and exciting.
Got a few questions here for you. Well, they both kind of, I think, go into the same type of bucket here. So John's asking if you have any plans for a 15-degree bit, and then Ray Dixon is asking what new tools you're making, and he's ready to buy some. So,
yeah. So no on the 15-degree bit, not right now. I have a lot going on with the Kickstarter stuff still. I'm still building everything out for the Kickstarter campaign. So once I get all the Kickstarter orders fulfilled, and I start working on some of the other tools that I'm going to be actually releasing soon, maybe I'd look into the 15-degree. But as of right now, I don't think I'm going to be doing that. But what I have been working on, I'll show you guys.
This is the coolest part. Check this out.
So for the longest time, I've only made like downshear tools, right? Except for like the compression bit. And a lot of people were always asking me to make like an upcut bit. So I finally came out with the Uptown Jenny is what I was calling her. But it's, I don't know if you can see it. So it's a 1/4-inch upcut bit that I've been working on. It's got an 1 1/8 flute length. It's got the thicker core diameter to make it more rigid. And it cut really, really well. I was really happy with it. So I got that one that I've been working on. And then this one that I'm really excited about. So this one, can you see that okay? I don't.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this is an extended reach upcut bit. So what's really unique about this tool is it's a 1/4-inch upcut. Same thing, I'm giving it a little bit larger of a core diameter to give it more rigidity. The flute length is only an 1.5 inches long, but what I did that's unique is I actually relieved the shank back, so you can actually go past 2 inches deep and not rub on your shank. And with it being an upcut bit, you can still get the chips up and out. So a lot of people who are working on guitar bodies or like four-quarter material, whatever they call it, it works really good on some of the extended reach tooling that people have been asking.
Man, that is cool.
So for all the Kickstarter, the people who did the Kickstarter beta bit testers, I just sent out to all of them both of these tools. It's in the mail right now as we speak. So if you were a part of the Kickstarter campaign and you contributed to the tier being a beta tester, these 2 tools are coming at you. So when you get them, use them, test them, just give me feedback, have fun with them, try to break them.
I'm good at that.
Yeah.
It's 1/4-inch tooling. Yeah, gosh, I wish. So I did some tests. I took a bunch of plywood and I laminated it together and I screwed it together and glued it together, made a big old solid piece. And I cut a 2-inch diameter hole, 2 inches deep, and the finish on it was like perfect. Rob, you saw it, right? I think I showed you. I was really, really impressed with how it performed cutting that deep into the material. And the chip evacuation worked really, really well. So yeah, to answer your question, as soon as I get a little bit more feedback from the beta testers, if we're good to go, I want to release this in the next week or 2. I would love to release it in the next week or 2. Or at least announce that I'm going to be releasing it, and then I'll probably be making some more. And then get them coded, and then yeah, we'll have them released. I don't know what the names are going to be yet. That's still to be determined. But I'm super excited about it. So
I think the extended reach one should be the leggy Jenny. It's big.
yeah, I like
Yeah,
the.
yeah,
I like
Tom.
I like the Uptown Jenny bit because for forever people have been asking for an Uptown Jenny bit, which they just wanted a 1/4 inch upcut. So maybe this one the community will choose Uptown Jenny. But there were also 3 other people who contributed to the Kickstarter campaign, and in that tier they actually get to name a bit. So I'm gonna talk to them first, and as long as it's like G-rated and it's nothing like bad, that's like my only rule. You can name it whatever you want as long as it's as long as I don't have to explain to my 7-year-old daughter what like voluptuous means or something like that. Like we're good to go. So
that's why I didn't go for that level on the Kickstarter.
No, I gotta keep it G-rated. That's
Oh yeah.
it's important to me. So
Oh yeah. That's awesome, man. There's some sweet bits going on, man. That's awesome.
yeah. So
I'm gonna have to admit it, Cody. Now I've got Billy Joel, Uptown Girl, in my head.
yeah, it's
What a
awesome.
good song.
I was thinking long tongue. What's that one song? Long tall lady in a black dress. Long tall Jenny in a black dress.
Oh,
Long, tall Sally.
What was it? It's an old one. That's the '60s, but it's rock and roll.
that's good.
I was just right there with you, Rob, but I was thinking it was a that song from Cake.
Long, cool woman in a red dress. Is that
Black
it?
dress. Yeah.
Black dress.
The Hollies? Who did that? Whatever. I'm sorry. Squirrel.
Oops.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I don't know. We'll have fun naming it, and I really want to keep the community involved. So
Yeah, that's great. And it's so awesome that you can, it's your iterations of them are speeding up so fast because of that. Because I know before when you were doing any of them, it would take you forever. So I'm sure that's
yeah.
it's really
Well,
exciting
so-
to be able to pop it out like that.
So the machine
Well, what I see-
landed here. Go ahead, Sean. Sorry.
I was gonna say what I see that's really cool is you get the opportunity of literally cutting the bit, and then you can just go right over to your other table, throw the bit
Yeah.
in, and cut.
Yeah.
So
That is-
that's literally what I'm doing.
How long
Oh,
is it
so
from
cool.
when it's an idea in your head to when you have a working, at least a prototype bit? How long does that process take?
I mean, you can do it in a day. You can come out. So my problem is I'm still learning the programming software. I'm not super efficient at it yet. So I'm still working with a couple other people. There's this lady named Heather. For years she's been grinding tools, and she's come alongside me and has helped me a lot with the programming and just kind of getting used to using the iGrind software. So for me, it would probably take longer, but someone like her, it's like, oh, you want a 3-flute upcut end mill or whatever, she'd probably whip it out in 20 minutes and it'd be good to go.
It's awesome. Man.
So
I'm so psyched.
yeah,
So
it's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
But
How speaking of the Kickstarter, how are you progressing with it? Is it you making good progress?
yeah, so we're still on track with everything. I worked really hard on getting all of the beta bits made for those 2 that I just showed you. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a ton of tools right here. There's a part of that beta bit test part. So getting all that made, and then in addition to the Kickstarter stuff, I still have to make my other tools, right? So there's still the business aspect of it, and making sure that I have stock, doing the development side, and building stock for all the Kickstarter. So the nice thing is the way the Kickstarter campaign rolled out is everything was planned to be released in certain months. And so this month, I'm actually on track for shipping out the Jenny Bits and the Downtown Jenny Bits. So all the people who contributed to that tier, this month I should be shipping that out to you guys. And then the next month I'll start getting into, I think it's the tapered ball nose, the ball star Jennies. I think the month after that are the V-Bits. And then in like October is the starter set. And that's like one of everything. So So as I'm building stock for my business, for my website, and filling wholesale orders, every time I'm making tools, I'm setting some aside for the Kickstarter. So that way, when that month comes, I can get everything packaged and shipped out. So I'll tell you this though, working in and with Kickstarter, man, it is such a pain. Like, so do you remember the other day I was like, hey, Ryan, when you contributed to the Kickstarter campaign, did you put in your mailing address? And so I don't have any of that information at all. So all of those people who contributed to the Kickstarter campaign, I had to go in there and do like a special survey and then send out emails to everybody. And then I have to wait for them to respond to the email to get their mailing address. And then once I get their mailing address, I have to export it to an Excel spreadsheet and then try to put that into ShipStation. Well, the problem is it doesn't port into ShipStation very well. So I'm having to make custom reports every time I bring it into ShipStation, so that way I can make a shipper. Like it took me all day to do that on I think it was last Sunday I was working on that.
Jeez.
Maybe it was Tuesday. I don't know. All my days just kind of mixed together now. So. But
yeah, what was it
last
Friday? You were like, "Hey, is there a show on tonight?"
Oh, yeah, man. That was funny. I'm like, "Hey, send me the link. Where are we at?" And you're like, "Dude, it's tomorrow." I'm like, "Oh, yeah."
Well, I started second guessing myself. I was like, "Oh man, I've been on vacation. I don't even know what day it is either."
So funny.
Oh, too funny. Al's got a question here for you. How long does it take to make one bit once the design is worked out?
It depends on the bit. So the compression bits obviously take longer than like the downshift bits. I think right now, like the compression bit, once it goes and it probes everything, machines it, using the robot and lasering it, it's less than 10 minutes to make one complete.
Awesome.
So, and that can vary too. So say the laser goes in there and it measures the OD, and let's say that the OD is a little bit big. Well, it'll go back in there and regrind the OD to bring it into tolerance. So if it has to run the OD twice, it might take longer. You know what I mean? So it just kind of depends. Will I be making an 1/8 inch Uptown Jenny? Same length of cut. Yeah. Eventually, yes. I would love to make an 1/8 inch upcut bit. I don't know that it'll be an inch and an eighth flute length. It'll probably be the same as a down cut. So like, I think it's 712 thousandths or whatever. I can't remember. Yes, I do want to make the 1/8 inch upcuts. That's definitely on the list.
Hey, Cody, is it harder to make an 1/8 inch bit than it is a 1/4 inch bit?
Yes. Yeah, so everything's smaller, right? So it's harder to measure, harder to see. You have to have smaller wheels. So right now I'm not making any of the 1/8 inch tooling because I'm not geared up for it yet in the machine. So I have to have different grinding wheels that are a lot narrower. I mean, I have some.
This is kind of, I guess, answering KS's question here too. All the bit production.
No, I haven't brought all the bits in yet. I'm slowly building it out as I go. So I'm still partnering with other companies to help me get my tools made until I get them all programmed and ran out.
Same thing with V-Bits. Are you doing the V-Bits in-house yet?
Not yet. Nope, not yet. Eventually I will. I bought the collets, all the collets to do the 3/8 material, 1/4 inch material, 1/8 inch material. Now it's just a matter of buying so this is a grinding wheel. It's like a saucer wheel. So it's got a really small radius and a taper to it, so you can get in smaller areas. Yeah, so I don't know if you can see it, but
Yeah, I'm bringing you a beer there.
yeah.
How long will one of those last?
I don't know how long.
Like how many bits can you run with that?
So I was told the wheels will probably last a year if you take good care of them. They'll make hundreds and hundreds of tools. You know, you got to make sure that they're not loading up, that you're dressing your wheels, that you're using the white stick. So there's a thing called white sticking. Your grinding wheels will get loaded up with carbide, and the white stick will go in there and basically open up all the pores so your grinding stone is cutting properly. So if you do a good job on all that kind of stuff and you don't crash a wheel like I did, it could last a long time. So yeah, I crashed my freaking machine. It sucks.
Yeah.
So this exploded in the machine, and I almost had a heart attack.
Yeah, you were telling me about that, and I was like, oh man, there's just no way I would have. Oh.
So thankfully, the way this grinding wheel was, is it was perpendicular to the door, and as it was coming in grinding, there was a smaller wheel in the front, and the tool was a little bit longer than the spacing in between the two wheels. So when it came in, my tool just barely kissed the inside of the wheel, and it separated it, and it blew up the wheel. And so thankfully, you know, when I had the wheel crash into the end of the tool, because it was perpendicular to the door, it just hit the door and it hit the back of the machine. And so the wheel, it didn't hit the headstock, didn't hit the robot, didn't hit anything important, thank God. But that was like 3 weeks after having the machine here. I was like, oh my gosh, I just killed it. I just killed my machine. Yeah, but thankfully I was able to rebound quickly. But yeah, freaking 8-week lead time to get replacement wheels.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, I think I got to find a better vendor, but 8 weeks because it's a specialty wheel. It's like a resin bonded diamond wheel, and they make them to order. So it's not like they have a bunch on the shelf ready to go that you can just buy. Some companies do, but this company in particular, because it was a newer product line, they didn't have these wheels on the shelf. And so when I bought these wheels with the machine, I bought duplicate wheels so that way I would have double of everything. And thankfully, I had already ordered the wheels before I crashed the machine, so so that did help a little bit. But I did not intend on crashing a stupid wheel.
No.
Yeah, it was
a
painful.
heart attack moment. Oh,
Mhm.
jeez, crazy. So you were telling me, I think this is kind of coming into the one of the other things I wanted to talk about today, about the cloud, because you can run your machine from anywhere, right?
No, I can remote in from anywhere and see the
Right.
process and where it's at, how it's doing. But I have to physically be here to run it.
Gotcha.
So I gotta obviously I gotta go to the loader. I have to load the pallet. I have to pull up the program, make sure the right, because there's two different programs. You have the robot program, and then you have your regular grinding program. Well, when you're running the robot program goes and grabs the grinding program and brings it in and has it all like work together. And in the most simplest terms, that's what it does. So you have to be here to set all that up and make sure that everything is set properly. But once it's done and it's proven out and it's good to go, you can load up your machine and let it run for 30 hours straight, unattended. But I have to physically be here to hit the party button. I have to hit the party button. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, the one thing I was thinking about was I was trying to look it up real quick. Was people have been talking about the cloud, about the information on the cloud and what's going back and forth. And well, the two new big 3D printers that are out there, the Bamboos and the Bambu Labs, and Creality now has their K1. They're using a lot of cloud infrastructure for
Interface.
for doing the modeling or models, talking to the machines, I guess, basically. And who was it? I want to say it's Ben Makes Robots or something. Man, what is it? What's his name? I can't remember it right offhand. But anyway, so there was a video released yesterday from him, and then also one from Teaching Tech. Both of them within like an hour of each other, talking about the concerns about having the cloud with the 3D printers or anything else. And I started thinking about it too, and I was like, well, Inventables has been doing it for years with the XCarve. Driving their machine and such like that from easel, and so it's taking more of a group than just the 3D printers are these days. But the one guy was looking at the terms of agreement or terms of service for the what you can expect from Bamboo Labs. And some of it is kind of scary, like the access that you're giving them to use their machine online and all that stuff. Stuff from camera images and whatever else. But they say that they're not going to take your models that you're printing, but they could. The way that stuff is worded in there, it's not really holding them out there. You guys have any thoughts on information out there on the cloud?
A lot of hacks out there.
There's parts of me that say, what? Who cares if somebody is looking at me printing a remote control car? But I could also see
if they have access to your printer, what else do they have access to?
Right. Well, in proprietary stuff, if it was something that you could get into to see the geometry of the Ginny bits and stuff like that people could copy.
Steal the resources.
Cody's having enough issues with people wanting to seeing the success that he's having and wanting to make it.
2 companies so far have already started ripping off the tools I've been working on.
Wow.
Oh no.
Yeah.
U.S. based?
One's U.S. based and the other's China.
I expected from China, but from a U.S. based company, that's sad.
I'm not going to say anything because it's not my place to do so. I'm just going to keep chopping wood and pushing forward. But yeah, it is kind of discouraging. You see these big companies with a lot of money kind of crapping on the little guy. But at the same time, it's like, I'm ready. I'm ready to battle, so I'm not giving up.
I think it means a lot that your people are seeing what you're doing and see value in what you're doing, because it's they're probably not going to make their tooling to the tolerances that you are, though. So there's even if they're trying to mimic what your designs are. Oh well, good luck getting the quality.
And that's okay too. I've always looked at when somebody buys a Jenny bit, they're also buying the community.
Yeah,
because there's so many people that's a part of this. I feel like anyways that it's you get the community with it. But
that's cool.
But in regards to like the cloud and the cloud concerns, I think where that could be a big problem for small companies or other companies is if they have proprietary software for their machine. Like if I have to, so for example, don't ever buy this laser. Whatever you do not buy a Glowforge. I bought a Glowforge. I fell into the Glowforge. And, when I first got it, I was like, this thing's awesome. And it's great for doing like arts and crafts. But me, I'm like, big production guy and like fixtures and repeatability. And the machine just did not work well for what I wanted to do. So I ended up selling it and getting, a Thunder Laser. But their software, I had to go onto their website, create an account, and everything was proprietary to the Glowforge, right?
Yeah.
So if Glowforge went out of business, well, that means I wouldn't be able to use my laser anymore.
Yeah, laser's dead.
Yeah, so it was all on the cloud, but that's I think that's a real risk that people need to consider when it comes to this type of stuff, right? Like,
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about or remembering about the Glowforge, but yeah, there's no option to use that thing offline.
no, not at all. You have to be connected at all times. So you lose the internet for the day, you can't use your laser.
Yeah, I mean, at least with the 3D printers, you can still plug in
The bamboo.
Bamboo or the Creality one. You can still plug a thumb drive into it and still run your models and all that. You don't have to be connected, and which is, if I had one, that's probably the way I would run it. But I don't mind just doing it when I'm at the house.
Yeah.
This little guy right here works just fine doing it that way. So.
And the other thing too is, for my entire adult career, I've worked in aerospace and defense, right? And so there's a lot of like ITAR regulations that we had to adhere to. And so if we wanted to buy a bamboo, printer, which is freaking awesome, if there's a lot of like cloud services that don't meet the ITAR regulations for like internet, protections or whatever, I don't even remember what it's called now. But that could be a problem too. There's probably a lot of businesses that would love to do 3D printing, but if it's all on the cloud, well, they're not going to be able to really 3D print their parts before they actually make it on their CNC machine because it's on the cloud, especially when you're dealing with like government, parts programs or whatever.
Yeah, I can totally see that. I saw a video last week, I think it was, about they were you can do getting into doing casts, 3D printed casts for people, so you can get them wet. You can stick a pen in there and itch, whatever, we break something. And they were talking, that's going to have to talk to the doctor's office, and there's a level of security that you would have there. So I would imagine that would interfere with that whole shebang of being able to produce these casts for people if they needed them. So,
all the HIPAA laws.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then obviously you'd have to have, this model of this arm cast for Joe Blow, and that would have, that's information of him. So, be interesting. I don't know. There's a lot going on out there.
There is.
And you know what? It's I don't know. I'm kind of like, I kind of want to embrace it because I love the technology side. Like, I get excited for it, but at the same time, because of my background and where I came from, I'm just kind of a little like hesitant.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think it's exciting stuff.
Yeah, there's some stuff like I have it. Where is it at here? I have this here on my. You can't really see it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I can control my Christmas lights from anywhere. Because the controller for the Christmas light stuff is in the garage and it's hooked up to my Wi-Fi. But yeah, there is a definite concern of somebody being able to get in there. Why they would ever want to get into my crap, I have no idea. But
so the Ring company that makes like the doorbells and security cameras.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the drone that they made?
No.
Oh.
So and I don't know if they've like released it yet, but they actually made a drone that can fly on the inside of your house. And so you would program it to, like, if you were gone or if you had like animals there or whatever, you could actually program it to where the drone will come out of its little home and fly a predetermined like flight path with the camera on and recording. So that way you can see like what's going on in your house real time.
dude, that would freak Grandpa out.
So I told my wife, I was like, man, that is awesome. She's like, I don't want people like looking in my house. Like, what if somebody hacks them? Like, okay, yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
But I told her, I was like, if they make a drone that can fly on the outside of my house, that would be awesome. If you could,
Well,
if you could do like a security system
They do.
that flies around my house, that's like affordable, and if somebody's like in my backyard, it'll like shine a light on them and tell them to go away. Like that would be awesome. But not in the middle of my flying through my house. That would be kind of crazy.
Yeah, that would be because like
I've heard where Ring they'll like the police can have access to your Ring doorbell.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a
they can
community
do that.
of video. Yeah, they don't even have to ask, from my understanding.
Yeah, we have a Ring doorbell, and it's nice. It's convenient. But even on the app, you can go on the app, and there's a part where the community can like talk about what's going on in your community, and it'll give you like all the crime that's going on or around like your city. And so there'll be all these like little pins where there was like a carjacking or gunfire or like a kidnapping or whatever. So it's kind of
Where do you live?
city, right? So it's just that's a part of it. And yeah, the police do have access to it.
Yeah,
But,
it's pretty,
Yeah,
pretty interesting.
It is.
Crazy.
I still want a drone to fly around my house that tells people to go away. That would be awesome.
It would just go into your kid's room and say, "Hey, get off of Roblox."
No, not in the house. I want it outside the house. I want a drone to fly the perimeter.
That'd be pretty
It's like
fun.
a taser. That would be awesome.
We'll be there. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, guys, we've been out here chatting for quite a bit, so I think it's about time that we shut her down, I guess, for the night. And hey, Rob, you got anything else you want to say or talk about tonight? Yeah, you have to come off mute, pal.
You're
on
muted,
mute.
Rob.
Muted. Let me get in here. Hold on. Let me unmute you.
But
There you go.
I picked up a V90 from Cody last week, and I did a V carving on a drum,
Wow.
Man.
a tribal
Oh, that
design.
one's cool.
Oh, let's get that bigger here. Hold on a second there.
Now, did you come up with that design?
I found it and then modified the heck out of the file to work.
That's beautiful.
Just a V carve one. My drums have been getting more and more and more complex. That puzzle drum took like 60 hours, and I kind of said, well, that's fine sometimes, but I want to be able to mass produce a drum. And the V carving took less than 2 hours on that. The skimming took 20 minutes. And then the lug holes, that stuff. I can have this drum on and off the CNC in 3 hours.
Wow.
So
That's pretty good.
So is
hopefully
that
in the future- go ahead.
the wood you picked up from the shop?
No, this is just cherry.
Oh, okay.
But I picked that wood. Yeah, that'll be a drum, but not for a little while still.
I was gonna say you're fast, man. Dang.
Yeah, I've got that one's got a few cracks that need to fill with the epoxy and stuff. That'll be a good project. That one I hope to donate to a charity, but yeah, this one, I don't know. In the future, I want to do a video where I do like, can I do 4 drums in a weekend? It'd probably be this design. See if I can do it. I just oiled it with Odie's oil because that's again fast. I want to do it fast. I still have to wipe it down now after you wipe it on.
Wow.
That's the other problem. You do an intricate carving and you fill it with polyurethane, and then you got to put 4 or 5 coats or 10 or 20, and suddenly it fills in all the cracks. You lose your definition. So that's what I want to try Odie's oil or Osmo or one of those. But
Now, is that for a customer?
no, that's just for me. But I do want to sell it. But there is one flaw on it. You can see where the lug holes are here. Well, I don't do design there. One of the spots I missed. Where is it? Right here. I didn't raise around there, so like this one right here. I hate this reversing.
What a
There's no
piece.
design right there, and then this one is not a design there.
That's really cool, Rob.
It is.
Nobody would notice unless you pointed it out to them.
Well, I'll probably give them $50 off on that one because I don't want to cheat anybody. But That's it. I think I can make a bunch of them a lot cheaper if I'm not putting, like say, 50, 60 hours into a drum. I can do it much more affordable. And I really want to buy a Spire, so I need to sell some drums. I really want a Spire.
Oh, I don't want you to buy a Spire because right now, when you show how you do stuff in VCarve, well, you've got the same one that I've got, so it means something. But if you get a Spire, I mean, I don't foresee ever having a Spire.
The only difference is you can make a 3D model instead of having to import it. Other than that, it's exactly the same, except for that one set of menus. But
Yeah.
that 3D part, I don't know. I just would like to be able to do more 3D stuff, but because right now I have to hodgepodge, either buy one or I go into what do I use? What are the free one is for
Blender?
Blender? I use Blender for that, and again, I know just enough to get
Fusion's
myself in
great.
trouble and do some modifications, and but I'm getting there. But that's steep learning curve
I
on
feel
Blender.
bad. I feel bad. Everyone's been running their machines except for me. I've been running my laser, and that's it. I haven't touched my router for probably about 3 weeks now. That's sacrilege, isn't it?
Yeah.
No,
Oh, and
Yeah,
it's
definitely
Yeah.
is, John. Definitely. I can't. It's been a while since I touched mine, so
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, my garage is not air conditioned, and they might break a record for the most consecutive days over 110 degrees here.
Oh,
Yeah, by 9, 10 o'clock I'm done. I work early morning and I get done, come inside then.
yeah.
You get a free sauna.
They were saying this week, like every day was the hottest day ever on record for the Earth.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I know how they measure that. We'll
I
see.
don't know either. Like, I mean, I guess it's globally. I guess if you take maybe all the major cities throughout the world or something. I don't know.
I know. I know Phoenix. Well, this month's hot. But last month was really cool. But because there's so much the heat island, all the asphalt, cement, the nighttime lows are much warmer than they were 30, 40 years ago. Even though the daytime temperatures might be the same. So they say it's warming. Well, the average is higher now, but it's because of all the asphalt and concrete in the city where they take the temperature. It's not here in the small town outside of Phoenix. I don't think it's any warmer than by that way they're measuring. But
Yeah.
whatever. Let's not get into politics.
Yeah.
You know, you could put off buying a Spire. Don't buy a Spire and add a few bucks to it and put a mini split in your garage.
There you go.
The hard part is to my wife to pay for electricity to put a mini split in the garage.
It's all good.
it'd be
Well,
worth it though.
Yeah, it would be. It definitely would be.
My buddy put one in his
I
garage.
got a little window.
It cost him like $3,000. I think is what he spent on it.
Yeah, it takes a little bit, but yeah, the added comfort level is definitely worth
Does
it.
it use a lot of power?
No, they're pretty efficient.
Are they?
Yeah, mini split's supposed to be good.
Yeah,
Better than the
You
one
just-
you plug into
you
your
just-
110.
yeah. I think this is all. Yeah, I think these are 110. I have one here in this room, and then there's one. The kid playroom is on the other side over there, and they're all hooked to one outdoor unit. So, but well, Mr. Paul, what you got? Anything else you want to talk about or anything?
No, I'm good. Very interesting, Cody. I appreciate your showing us your shop.
Yeah, thanks for putting up with me for the last hour.
It's anytime, buddy. Anytime. Sean, you got anything, bud? Anything you want to plug or anything?
Oh, the website, Klondike.com, KLAWNDYKE.com. You want to get into a fun hobby,
Another rabbit hole.
another rabbit hole.
Just what I need.
Yeah. I'd be more than willing to help.
There you
All
go.
my hobbies kind of turn into jobs.
Well, kind of the same here.
Hey, they got to pay for themselves somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Cody, you got anything else you want to talk about, buddy?
No, just want to say thanks for inviting me on. I haven't been on in a while, so it's was an honor to visit with you guys again. So
Since the first
Oh, it's
episode.
awesome.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's awesome
and the
that
first
you're
time
here,
I've ever
Cody.
been in the shop. So you're asking me, hey, Cody, do you feel like you're working a lot more? I mean, it's Saturday night and I'm still at the shop at 7:15. So it's like, no, I don't feel like I'm working, but I do probably spend more hours here.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to just say, everybody down in the comments, if you put a thank you, Cody, that is ThankYewCody. After this is all over and
Yeah, thumbs
stuff,
up.
I'll do one of the comment pickers, and I have a Jenny bit here that I will mail out to somebody. It is a 1/4-inch downtown Jenny. So
Oh man.
put it down into the comments there, and I'll draw one after the show's over because I didn't set up the giveaway tool or anything like that, and I'll tell you who the winner was next week. So thank you, Cody. I appreciate it, buddy. Everything.
Thank you, man.
I enjoy it every time you come on. It's very enlightening. You know.
Yeah. I miss Dave though. I miss Dave's charming personality.
I know.
I'm sure he'll be back on soon though.
He might show up one of these days. We'll see. We're trying.
I still think we should do like a tribute show for Dave. Just to take pictures of all the stuff he does. I think that'd be great.
Yeah, it would be. It definitely would be.
I hope he's not watching right now.
Oh yeah, he is. He's out there. So
Hey,
he's
Dave.
out.
Hi, Dave.
He's
We miss
chilling
you.
back, watching us on the big screen.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Good deal. All right. Well, you guys, everybody, thanks again for joining us as we make it up as we go, and we'll see you next week. Thanks a lot.
see you guys. Thanks.